Cinco de Mayo from Fenway Park as we play day baseball. The rain has subsided for now as the Red Sox and Angels play Game 4 of the 4-game series from Fenway Park. Hi again, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, and welcome back to Red Sox baseball. Late night last night into the early morning, and last night, of course, had a little bit of everything. A 2-hour, 35-minute rain delay, an extra-inning ball game, and in the end, the Angels came away with the win. But a wild night here last night as we look back at some of the highlights from last night's action you may have missed. After the rains and a few more innings, finally, we saw some runs when Vernon Wells connected for his second home run of the series. Dan Wheeler gave the Angels a 2-0 lead. Boston trailed 3-1 in the ninth when Jordan Walden came on to close it out. It was a wild pitch, allowing Jed Lowry to score, making it 3-2. Mike Cameron, trying to advance from second, is thrown out at third. Proves to be costly as three batters later, Jacoby Ellsbury ties the game with an RBI single. Lady Carl Crawford, who had doubled, 3-3 now as we head to extra frames. In the 12th, Boston came within inches of a win. Euclid hits one off the monster, but Marco Scudero, trying to score from first, is thrown out at the plate, keeping the game tied. Then, in the 13th, the Angels finally broke through. Bobby Abreu had been 0 for 6, picks up a 2-out, 2-run single to put the Angels on top, 5-3. That was the final as the Angels pick up their first win of the year against the Red Sox. In the end, the game totaled 5 hours even. Didn't even factor the 2-hour and 35-minute rain delay. Game saw a total of 14 pitchers, 8 for Boston, 6 for the Angels. Total of 445 pitches thrown. Losing pitcher was Matsuzaka. Trevor Bell was the winner. He went 4 scoreless. Teams had plenty of chances. They both combined to go 7 for 25 with runners in scoring position. But today it is John Lackey on the hill for the Red Sox, 4-0 against his old team. The first pitch is next from Fenway. AT&T, Kia, and by Southwest Airlines. Cinco de Mayo from Fenway Park as the Red Sox and Angels wrap up this 4-game series from Fenway. Day baseball and still cloud covered Fenway Park as we begin today with the lights on here at Fenway. And we welcome in once again Hall of Famer Peter Gammons in the booth with us today. And Peter, late night last night and a quick turnaround for all these guys here at the ballpark today.
Yeah, there were some dead people around in both clubhouses. I mean, it was the line in the Angels training room was pretty long. These guys are going in there, getting their legs worked on and so forth. But you know, for them, it's the end of a trip. They get on a plane this afternoon. They fly back to Anaheim, so it's not that bad. But I think there was a mental lift from just finally winning a game in this ballpark. Everything has gone so wrong, and those two Eric Ibar throws, the two plays on the ball that hit Mark Hirschbeck, and then the great relay to throw out Scudero at home plate. I think that also gave them a huge lift because they were great plays.
Let's take a look at the Angels starting lineup today, and it is Eric Ibar leads it off again. He's at shortstop, Howie Kendrick at second base. It is Bobby Abreu in left, Torrey Hunter is the DH in the cleanup spot with Alberto Callaspo at third base. Vernon Wells in right field. Mark Trumbo is at first base. Jeff Mathis does the catching, and it is Peter Borges who is in center field batting ninth. On the mound today for the Red Sox is John Lackey. He was 4-0 against his old team and makes his sixth start of this year, 2-3 with a 5.65 ERA. They need him to go deep into this game for obvious reasons with all the bullpen use last night. And, of course, his last outing was a loss against Seattle, but he pitched fairly well. Quality start, 6 innings, giving up 2 runs, 7 hits, walked 4, and struck out 3. The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Jordan's Furniture. Third to first around the infield, it is Youkilis, Lowry, Scudero, and Gonzalez. Left to right in the outfield, Carl Crawford in the left, Jacoby Ellsbury in center, and J.D. Drew. After a bit of a bout with vertigo back in there today for the Red Sox, and it is Jared Saltalamacchia doing the catching for John Lackey. Umpiring crew today, Laz Diaz has the play calling the balls and strikes with Scott Berry at first base. The crew chief, John Hirschbeck, at second today, and Wally Bell is the umpire at third. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game. A cloud-covered Fenway Park right now. The breeze blowing slightly from left to right as it appears right now. 54 degrees and a chance of showers in the forecast. Hopefully nothing like what we experienced here last night.
That's all they need is to get to about fourth inning and have a 1 hour, 40-minute rain delay and have to start. We'd see a lot of Atchison and Hill right away.
A 2 hour and 35-minute rain delay, a 5-hour game as it was. A long night that turned into day as the Red Sox and Angels get ready to wrap up this series. Eric Ibar standing in on the left side. John Lackey ready to work. And the first pitch of this one. This is inside ball one, and we are underway. Eric Ibar, 313. No homers and 6 runs batted in. And Mike Scioscia, a good thing for him last night, as long as it took for the Angels to get their first win against the Red Sox in 2011. That was starting to become troublesome for the Angels.
I think it was. I mean, obviously there were a lot of things that turned in those first 2 games. I mean, they were Heron and Weaver both pitched very well. And the Red Sox broke through in the 7th and 8th inning against each one. But at the same time, I think they just got to the point where they wondered what in the world can happen. Balls, Ortiz's ball that bounced over the first baseman's head, and things that have happened here. Just it was a night. They went years, could never win playoff series. They finally sweep the Red Sox, and then they lose 14 out of 15. It's very hard to explain.
Always a good team. It's not like they're a middle-of-the-road team. This is a good ball club.
They're a very good team.
The lead in the American League West and each of the series coming in. They remain tied atop the AL West right now with the Texas Rangers. This is hit to first and caught in the air by Adrian Gonzalez. Ibar retired for the first out here in the first inning. Virtual tie for the Angels with the Rangers, both 17 and 14 to begin the year. Athletics right in behind him, and the Mariners close to the AL West to begin the year. And this liner right out to Gonzalez, able to make the catch, pick it in the air before it hit the dirt. For the first out here in the first inning. A swing and a miss for Howie Kendrick. Kendrick hitting it .296, 6 home runs and 12 runs batted in.
And Kendrick is a good example of what's happened to the Angels here. I mean, here's a guy
trying to bunt his way on, fouls it off.
That they once thought would be a batting champion. He's got great hand-eye coordination, but he's struggled with his patience at the plate. He came in here with an OBP over 380, really learned patience, and in this series, he's really struggled with it. Same thing, swinging a bad pitch. Now, those 3 pitches that Josh Beckett struck him out with in the second inning last night were unhittable, but at the same time, he's just gotten a little edgy here.
Kendrick, third in the American League with 23 runs scored, leading the Angels in several categories. As he leads with 37 hits, top the Angels list, tied for 6th in the AL. His 6 home runs lead the Angels. And look at his home road split, much better away from Angel Stadium. 0-2 is into center field, a base hit. The 2 pitches appear to get a lot of the plate. It was a curveball from John Lackey, and Kendrick has got a base hit. The Angels have their first base runner, but going down to get it.
Did a good job staying on it and lining it back to the middle.
So 1 out, 1 on, and Bobby Abreu coming up. Abreu had been 0 for 6 in the game last night. And he picks up a 2-out, 2-run single to put the Angels on top 5-3 last night. He gave the Angels the win in the 13th inning as the pitch misses grabs the outside corner for strike 1. And this was the base hit. Bases loaded. Abreu comes through with a 2-run single. The Angels took a 5-3 lead. The eventual final score in last night's contest. 1 out, 1 on, and an 0-1 pitch to Abreu. Outside 1-1. Sun making an appearance at the moment. Trying to break through the clouds above. Even when we started playing last night after the 2 hours and 35 minutes, the rest of it was spent largely played in either a mist or a light rain. There's a fly ball to shallow center field. Ellsbury coming in. Glasses on as he makes the catch for out number 2 of the first inning. Here comes Torrey Hunter with 2 outs here in the first. And I know, Peter, one of your favorite people.
Absolutely. He did something that there were a lot of representatives from City here, which is a phenomenal urban group that were people who volunteer, give a year of their lives to help out kids in underprivileged schools throughout several cities in the United States. And Torrey went over and to meet all the volunteers and so forth. And it's just unbelievable listening to him. I mean, I call him the evangelist because that's.
Kendrick takes off, pitches a foul tip, and no chance. He overslid the bag, but able to get back. And Kendrick steals second base.
But he devoted his life. He had a lot of things happen to him as a kid, not good at all. And he just, instead of complaining about it, in fact, he had a family member steal his $2 million signing bonus and use it on drugs. And he just devoted his life to making sure that things like that don't happen to other people. And it's very unusual and extraordinary person. The kids just love him.
This one fouled off to the right, not a play. Anytime you see him, usually the big smile on his face, so outgoing and upbeat and happy every time, and a positive person.
Absolutely. And he credits a lot of his major league persona to having David Ortiz be the guy who took him under his arm when he first came up with the Twins. And they're still very close friends and equally funny.
2 pitches in the dirt outside. It's kind of a sad ending to his Twins career because you kind of associated him with being the face of the franchise for a long time there.
Absolutely. I mean, they were bad some of those years he was there, and he was always the guy that was always positive and the fans loved and identified with. But he's become a big favorite in Anaheim as well. So
a 1-2 pitch is outside. He was part of the team that kind of changed the thought process. He was not part of all the losing for the Angels in the postseason with the Red Sox. He was part of the team that came in and swept them.
Yes.
In 2009, a lot of people pointed to his influence, including Mike Scioscia, as being a big reason. Two balls, 2 strikes to Torrey Hunter with Kendrick at second base.
Well, every year he entertains every group of kids we bring in here with him, but with his stories about how they used to put peanut butter in David Ortiz's shorts.
The Twins group, of course, coming up through the minor leagues together, and they have great fun year in and year out. Hunter started every game for the Angels and in there again today.
And his legs are really hurt.
There's ball 4. He'll head down to first base. 2-out walk for Torrey Hunter. So 2 on here in the first inning, and we'll bring up Alberto Callaspo. Callaspo Cashbo at 272. 2 homers and 9 runs batted in. Another guy who hits much better away from Angel Stadium. He's hitting at 328 on the road while hitting at 190 at Angel Stadium. Came over from the Royals in July of last year. He takes strike one. Tough guy to strike out. He struck out just 13 times in 228 plate appearances last year after joining the Angels. Chops one to first as Gonzalez has got it. Lackey covers for the out. It ends the inning. The Angels strand a pair. Done with half an inning. The Red Sox are coming up. Red Sox starting lineup brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. Jacoby Ellsbury is in center field. Carl Crawford in left, batting second. Kevin Youkilis at third base. Adrian Gonzalez at first base in the cleanup spot with David Ortiz. The DH, Jed Lowry at shortstop at 6 with J.D. Drew back in there in right. Third, Saltalamacchia doing the catching, and Marco Scutaro. That's ninth at second base. Red Sox dealing with a former member of the Red Sox, Joel Pinheiro. His only decision, a no decision. The 7 innings giving up 1 run through 83 pitches. Did that against Tampa Bay after missing the first 25 games of the year with tightness in his right shoulder. So he was on the shelf to begin the year and then didn't make that first start until April the 30th at Tampa Bay. 12th career start and appearance against the Red Sox. Dropped his last one, which was May of last year here at Fenway. As Ellsbury shows bunt, takes ball 1. Pinheiro has just 1 win in the last 9 starts against the Red Sox. He had 31 relief appearances for Boston as part of the 07 team. And he is 3-6 lifetime against the Red Sox with a 5.94 earned run average. The 1-1 pitch to Jacoby Ellsbury. You see Pinheiro coming back into the rotation for the Angels. What happened to Scott Kazmir?
He had some physical problems, and then he could never find his delivery. And remember, when he first came up, he had that slider that he would throw inside the right-handed hitters and just dominate them. And he never got that slider back. So he would throw strikes, and I don't think they counted on him at all.
Ground ball to second base. Kendrick is there, and Ellsbury's out number 1. Take a look how the Angels line up defensively today. Third to first, Alberto Callaspo, Eric Ibar, Howard Kendrick at second base, and Mark Trumbo at first. On the outfield, it is Brayu in left, Borges in center, Wells in right. 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning, and Carl Crawford stands in. Crawford at 193 and moving up in the lineup. You look at how hot he's been. You just wondered when this would happen, and today it happens because Pedroia is out of the lineup, but kind of wonder when Crawford's going to start to make his way back up somewhere in the middle or somewhere else other than 7th or 8th.
It's going to be interesting. I still think that they'll end up with Ellsbury and Pedroia hitting 1-2. And there have been some people who have suggested, and I think I buy into it, that his best spot might be 5th. Because, you figure, okay, you're going to have Gonzalez, Youkilis, and then he can go hit in front of Ortiz. He can score for first on a double. He can score for first on any ball hit down the line. Plus, if he's on base and with the 7, 8, 9 hitters, he can run. If he's hitting in front of Gonzalez or Youkilis, you don't want him running.
No doubt he's been swinging a hot bat. Floyd Gamer coming into this game here today, and just much different swings. It all started with the walk-off win on Sunday against the Seattle Mariners. Crawford hits a 2-2 in the air to deep left center field. Borges back there onto the track to make the catch for the second out. Let's check in with Heidi.
Well, Don, the Red Sox were in need of some pitching help after everyone but Bobby Jenks and 3 of the starters were used in last night's game. Terry Francona was even forced to pitch Daisuke Matsuzaka in the 13th inning. So the Red Sox recalled Scott Atchison and selected Rich Hill from the AAA roster. To make room for the Sox put Dan Wheeler and Bobby Jenks on the disabled list. Jenks' left arm spasmed last night when he was warming up, so he's getting that looked at. And as for Wheeler, his left calf has been bugging him. But Tito said neither one of those he thinks is a very big deal. But since the team needed some fresh arms, those 2 were put on the DL. Don?
All right, thanks very much, Heidi. There's Scott Atchison returning to the Red Sox. We were wondering about Bobby Jenks last night. Of course, he had warmed up and then sat down again. And bicep problem as Mark Trumbo backpedal into foul ground. Gives way to Kendrick, and look out. Kendrick can't make the catch. Foul ball. And once Trumbo peeled off, Kendrick appeared to be in trouble right out of the gate. He was looking to find out where he was and then try to pick it back up again and cannot make the catch. Does get a glove on it.
Well, you're right. He clearly thought Trumbo was going to catch it. It blew a little bit, and all of a sudden, it's yours. But
so another chance here for Kevin Youkilis, who got hit in the hand last night. Was fine. 244, 5 homers, 17 runs batted in, and cranks it foul.
It'll be very interesting to see who starts tomorrow night. I mean, it's kind of my understanding it would either be Aceves or Wakefield. So, but if it's Aceves, that would require another roster move of some kind.
Daisuke Matsuzaka forced into the game. A very unusual situation, throwing a long toss in between innings, getting ready in the bullpen, something that he has always done before he starts, but it was so strange to see it last night, him getting ready for a relief appearance in between innings, throwing a long toss. Daisuke came in and ended up taking the loss.
And told Terry Francona after the game he wanted to pitch Friday. It's not going to happen. But Tito did say he really appreciated the fact that not only did he relish pitching out of the bullpen, but he volunteered. He said, "Look, I can be back on Friday. Let me pitch."
3-2 pitch. Youkilis fouls it off. Youkilis last night almost ended the game for the Red Sox, and on a warm summer night in June, that thing is gone. But last night just died as it ended up almost getting out of here and high up on the wall. Looked good right out of the gate, but
I'm glad I wasn't doing what you do for a living and trying to call it, because I would have said gone.
Well, I just about did. It's almost there. This one is to third base. Callaspo across the diamond, and that'll do it. It's a 1-2-3 first for Pinheiro. We're scoreless from Fenway. Dennis and Callahan, weekday morning starting at 6 on the WEI Sports Radio Network, and of course, right here on Nesson. It's a rather small sombrero as we head to the top half of the second inning. As it is Vernon Wells, Mark Trumbo, and Jeff Mathis coming up here in the second. Lackey get out of a 2-on-2 out jam by getting Piaspo to ground out and to end the first inning. Vernon Wells moving up a little bit. He bats sixth in the order now. Starting to come around. He had a 2-run home run here in last night's game. Part of our key matchup today, brought to you by your New England Acura dealers. Tough numbers for him against Lackey.
He and Carl Crawford have been going back and forth about who can get to the Mendoza line first.
Well, both too good to hang out there for very long. And Crawford really coming around, and Wells is, at least in the power numbers, Wells hit 2 home runs in the series. And last night's appeared to be one the Angels needed. This is a one-hopper at Lowry. Throws to first and retires Wells. So one down here in the second inning, and Mark Trumbo coming up. 253 average, 5 home runs, and 15 runs batted in for Trumbo. We have seen, if you make a mistake, this guy can lose it in a hurry. He has 5 home runs already on the year. Leads all American League rookies in nearly every offensive category. 5 home runs, 24 hits. Total bases with 45, RBIs with 15.
Every spring training I like to keep track of my favorite batting practices. Now, Mike Stanton of the Marlins is in a class by himself. Greater than McGuire at his peak. But Mark Trumbo was my number 2 guy this spring.
This is back at Lackey, who fields at the base of the hill and throws him out, 2 down. Yeah, batting practice here was pretty impressive. He put on a show here.
Unfortunately, in games, guys with 270 on base percentages usually struggle against major league pitchers. But
he had 36 home runs last year in the minor leagues, and this year so far 5. And another homegrown talent for the Angels.
And he's an Anaheim guy.
2 down in the second inning as Jeff Mathis settles in. In the games that Mathis starts, the Angels are 8-7. Marks his 16th start of the year. He has struggled offensively the last 13 games, 7 for 41, hitting at 171, and that average not up to 200. He's at 190, but very good defensive catcher. Strike one over the outside corner. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Lackey's had a good tight curveball today. It's what appeared to be the slider down and away.
That was a very tight pitch, very, as you said, very almost unhittable for Mathis's style.
This one popped up foul. Back comes Saltalamacchia to be back into the seats. Saltalamacchia getting into the game very late last night. Jason Varitek catching the whole game. I'm thinking about all the guys in the ballpark, but the guys who had to catch last night's game especially. Wow. One-two to Mathis. Up and in. Sends him backing out of the way. The 91-mile-an-hour fastball inside. Almost grazed the jersey with his fastball. To right field. J.D. Drew out there waiting on it. Will make the catch. It ends the second inning. A 1-2-3 second for Lackey. They score from Fenway. Red Sox games. First be there when the Red Sox play the Twins, and then pair that with dates to see the Chicago Cubs' long-awaited return to Fenway Park. Seats are available in a variety of locations throughout the ballpark. Visit redsox.com/doubleplay to get your tickets today. Last half of the second inning back at Fenway Park. Scoreless ball game as Joel Pinheiro had a 1-2-3 first inning. Getting Ellsbury, Crawford, and Youkilis. Adrian Gonzalez, David Ortiz, and Jed Lowry here in the second inning. Adrian with 2 home runs so far in the season. And a home run in this series as Gonzalez stands in on the left side. You wonder about the power for Gonzalez. You know, he's hit so well, hitting at 317, but you expected a little more power. Do you think that shoulder has been an issue at all?
He says not, and I think he's just trying to feel it out, learn the pitchers in the American League. He knows he's going to get pounded in a lot. But he talks about RBIs, about that's his job, get guys in. And I thought that at bat the other night when he hit a great split from Herron. He knew exactly what to do. He was looking for it. He got it. Just dumped the ball through the hole into left field to score Ellsbury from second base to tie the game. That's the way he thinks. And he was looking cutter the last time when he pulled the ball for the home run. I did a thing with him in video yesterday, which will run on the pregame show tomorrow, which is absolutely fascinating. He's not only a very delightful person, but he is really intelligent. His understanding of hitting. I mean, it's a great art to talk about. I mean, I was lucky enough to spend a lot of time with Ted Williams, a lot of time with Barry Bonds, 2 of the smartest hitters I've ever known. And you know, he's really right in that category. His understanding of what he wants to do, what he can do, what pitchers try to do to get him out.
How heavily does he rely on the videos?
He just gets ideas. I think that he looks at things and he gets a pretty good idea of, okay, this is what this guy does. He likes to see certain situations, men in scoring position, how pitchers vary, but he'll still tell you experience is the most important factor.
Gonzalez grounds one right side. Kendrick in short right. Bit of a shift and throws out Gonzalez for out number 1 of the second inning.
This should be a big day for him, though, being Cinco de Mayo.
It's true. He's out number 1 here the second inning as David Ortiz gets ready to step in. David now 4 home runs on the year, 16 RBIs and a .275 average. So it's 6 RBIs in the last 5 games. And was homered back-to-back games Monday and Tuesday against the Angels. And Adrian Gonzalez going back-to-back, which misses for ball 1. Set safely in 13 the last 16 games. David Ortiz with a home run on Tuesday night moved past Ellis Burks for sole possession of 79th place in the all-time list. And a former member of the Red Sox, 353 career home runs for Big Papi. Of course, owns the all-time record for home runs as a DH at 309. See a day in the future where more DHs will be headed into the Hall.
I think it will happen. I think Edgar Martinez is going to be a fascinating case because statistically he certainly is a Hall of Famer.
This is down the line but foul.
The question is, you know, I mean, and it's very hard when you vote. Shouldn't he have to contribute on both sides of the ball? And that's the one thing that you kind of say, because we have seen in free agency. We saw it happen with Guerrero. We saw it happen with Manny Ramirez, a couple of other guys. The value of DHs on the open market have gone down dramatically. And again, contributing on both sides of the baseball, case of Worth and Crawford versus Guerrero, really noticeable.
And first base runner of the game for the Red Sox. A one-out walk for David Ortiz. The Red Sox Baseball on NESN is brought to you in part by Eastern Bank, the official bank of the Red Sox television network. Commitment, compassion, and love of the game. Find out what we're made of at easternbank.com. Overcast day here for the most part at Fenway Park. The lights are on here right out of the gate, and we saw sunshine for a bit. David Ortiz at first base, one down, and Jed Lowry coming up. It was his one-out single in the 7th inning that ended the Angels' combined no-hit bid in last night's game. As he takes strike one, that was the thing. Kind of got lost in all of it. Was the Angels were combining for no-hitter into the 7th inning. And we wonder if Santana had been able to continue and there was no rain, whether or not he would have had a legitimate bid.
He might well have. I thought about that a lot afterwards. I mean, if the rain hadn't come, he definitely had no-hit stuff.
Impressive as it was, but no way to come back out after a 2-hour and 35-minute rain delay. Either Santana or Beckett. Beckett only gave up one hit, but Santana none in his effort last night. Here's Joel Pinero's 30th pitch. It's in the dirt, kicks off Mathis. An advance for David Ortiz. Break off the curveball. And Mathis able to knock it down. Didn't get very far from him. Flowers had 2 hits in each of the last 2 games, 4 for his last 9. Fouls it off to the left hand, out of play. This marks the 20th start for Jed Lowry, his 15th at shortstop. 5 starts at third base, and appeared last night for the 2nd time at first base. Adrian Gonzalez was running for. 1-2 bounces in, and again Mathis has got to knock it down.
Well, it's 2 curveballs he's bounced in third and missed a bat, but he got his fastball well in on Lowry, which was a pretty good pitch. So
Pinheiro, now 32 years of age, hails from Puerto Rico. Resides now in Pinecrest, Florida during the offseason. And last year 10-7 with the Angels. Fouled straight back. And a 3.84 earned run average, made 23 starts. It really was St. Louis where he turned his career around. He was such a up-and-coming prospect. Had some very good numbers in Seattle when he started, but then became a reliever when he was here in Boston. But bounced back with a 15-win season in 2009 for the Cardinals. 2-2. And fouled off.
well, the Red Sox were looking for some length in the bullpen, and he was coming off some arm problems, and they thought it'd be a good mix. And his stuff was good here. He just never quite acclimated himself to being a relief pitcher. So, but St. Louis is certainly a place where pitchers go to resurrect their careers.
And here in Boston in 07, 31 games, a 1-1 mark, 5.03 ERA, pitched in 34 innings in a Red Sox uniform. Lowry continues to foul off pitches, 2-2. This will be the 9th pitcher of the at-bat. He tried the changeup.
Yeah, pretty good changeup down.
On the ground towards second, could be 2. Kendrick to second for 1, on to first, it is 2. It wraps up the 2nd inning as they go 4-6-3 on the deep A. No score after 2.
Now see Jerry Seinfeld live on stage at MGM Grand at Foxwoods on May 13th and 14th at 8 p.m. For tickets, visit foxwoods.com or call 866-646-0609 or Ticketmaster.
Top half of the third inning back at Fenway Park. No score as Peter Borges, Eric Ibar, and Howie Kendrick are coming up here in the third inning. The Angels had an opportunity in the first, 2 on, 2 down. But could not score, and then they went in order in the second inning. And here we go in inning number 3. Borges with the bunt bid. He's got good speed. And a bad thought, but drops it down foul. If you look at John Lackey's career, and of course spent with the Angels up until coming to the Red Sox last year. And I kind of think of him the same way as I do Josh Beckett, a guy who's very young in his career. His first year ends up having such a big impact on a World Series. It seems that matures a pitcher beyond his years.
Absolutely. It was fast. I remember talking to him as he, right before he went out to warm up before that Game 7 against the Giants. And there was a real presence about, I'm not saying a swagger, but a presence that just somehow he knew he was going to win. And I remember Darren Erstad saying to me, "We'll win this game. Lackey's a special guy."
Borges gets hit on the side and he'll head down to first base. 0-2 pitch trying to come inside on a fastball, and he gets him 90 miles an hour.
Not a guy you really want to put on base. Angels had a lot of problems trying to get him to make better contact, get on base, because he strikes out a lot. So he gets that gift.
So aboard here in the third inning. Back up top for Eric Ibar. Lined out to first base in the first inning. You see a lot of his brother Willie Ibar, remember the Tampa Bay Rays over the years. This is chopped right side, well placed. A vacated right side into right field. Borges heading for third base. And one thing the Angels do as good as anybody or better than anybody is first to third, and it was first and third here with nobody out.
Ibar, look at that first pitch fastball and hack at it. Last year when they put him in the leadoff spot, they kept emphasizing about getting on base, and he became so defensive. He took so many pitches. He was 0-2, 1-2 a lot, and they've been moving him around the batting order. But now basically they tell him, go ahead, first fastball, go ahead and hit it, because he's a pretty good hitter.
So runners at the corners, nobody out. There goes Ibar. Pitch a strike, and the throw not in time. So the stolen base for Ibar is the second stolen base of the day for the Angels. Kendrick stole a base in the first inning. No chance there for Saltalamacchia. Pretty good jump for Eric Ibar at first base. He's got 6 steals now in the year. And at second and third, nobody out. Bounced in, Saltalamacchia blocking it. And it's 2-1. Breaking ball here from Lackey, just kind of yanked it down.
Saltalamacchia did do a good job shifting his body, but keeping the ball in front of him, keeping Burgess third.
On the ground towards short, Lowry will go to first with it as a run scores. In from third is Borges. The hit batter that starts this inning turns into a run. And the Angels take a 1-0 lead. Ibar remains at second base as Kendrick is retired 6-3, but picks up his 13th RBI. Timely hitting has been tough to come by for the Angels, especially in the season series against the Red Sox. Had some last night. And after leaving 2 on in the first inning, have got the game's first run. And Bobby Abreu flied out to center field in the first inning. In there for strike late. Strike call from Laz Diaz. Abreu looking back, a fastball. As took a good long look and said, yep, it's a strike. The one pitch is outside, and it's 1-1. Torrey Hunter waiting on deck with one out in the third. In there for a strike two. And you think back to Abreu signing with the Angels, and it was one of those years, and it has been ever since. It seems that these free agents going to the offseason have to wait longer and longer in some instances, especially if you're not the top tier guys, to sign with teams.
Absolutely. Well, of course, I mean, Bobby's been a very good player, but he's now at the age where he's not a great defender. Someone described watching him play the outfield. It's like a closest to the pin competition.
This is not very flattering.
No, but he's been a terrific hitter. I actually did a thing a few weeks ago. I mean, when we'll talk about, well, if Johnny Damon gets to 3,000 hits, is he a Hall of Famer? And I mean, in almost only hit total is Johnny Damon ahead of Bobby Abreu. Bobby Abreu is far superior in every other offensive category. On base, slugging, OPS, runs created, all that kind of thing. Very underrated offensive player.
2-2 pitches up high. It's amazing how he still can run pretty well, and a guy who's got a great eye and walks a ton.
Something that the Angels really needed in their lineup. They've been a very free swinging team over the years, and he brought them something they didn't have.
24 walks, ranking second in the American League currently, and 22 walks in the month of April. Ground ball back to Lackey, looks the runner back and throws to first. Round number two, Gonzalez kind of pumped as if he was going to go to second base. Ibar got back, 2 down. Breaking ball sent right back to Lackey, and able to get the quick out at first base, 2 down. No chance here for Torrey Hunter with the runner in scoring position. He walked in the first inning. Only walk allowed by Lackey today. He's given up 2 hits, one on the first to Kendrick, and one here in the third to Ibar. Both singles. The Angels have 2 stolen bases in the game. Two and 0. Sun shining at the moment here at Fenway Park. Lights on here for day baseball. Red Sox and Angels wrapping up their 4-game series. Red Sox will welcome the Minnesota Twins in tomorrow. A wraparound series around the weekend, and that'll be a 4-gamer as well. The Minnesota Twins have struggled to begin the year, and they're just 11-18 coming in, although they've won their last 2 games, including having a no-hitter. Pitch outside, 3-0.
Well, they definitely played the White Sox at the right time. The White Sox have really struggled. I think, what is it, in the last 24 games, they've hit .202. Which might have contributed a little bit to that no-hitter.
11-21 are the White Sox. 10.5 games out already. There's a strike over the outside corner. 3-1. Didn't give in 3-0. Went with the curveball. And it's 3-1 just in case Torrey Hunter had the green light. He's just 1 for 18 with runners in scoring position. Not alone in that category, though. Angels got a lot of guys like that. Ibar takes off. No throw, and it's ball 4 as Hunter walks again. And a stolen base for Ibar, his second of the inning. Except that's only, no, that should be ball 4. It's 3-1. Maybe the scoreboard was wrong. As Laz Diaz says that's ball 3. Oh, no, he called it a strike, I think. I don't know. What's he doing with his hand here? Yeah, you think he called it a strike. It makes it 3-2. He did something. That's outside. Now it's ball 4, and Hunter heads down to first base. Well, we want to remind you to follow the Red Sox at MLB.com, at bat 11 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. With live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit RedSox.com for details. Hunter ended up working the walk in the end. And he has both walks allowed by Lackey today. Ball 1 and gathered by Saltalamacchia, able to knock it down. The changeup that time in the dirt. Cayaspo, a slow start to May, just 1 for 15. Two outside bar at third base, Hunter at first base. And the Angels already on top. Surrounded the plate but misses outside. Lackey wanted it, and it's 2-0. The curveball that was away. And it's up and away. Three and 0. Third straight 3-ball count for Lackey. Pitch count rising up to 54 pitches with 2 outs here in the third inning. There's a strike on the fastball. 3-1. Generally, Lackey will be that workhorse you need. Guy who goes deep into games, consistent year in and year out. That 200 marker. Runner goes on a 3-1 pitch, hooked down the right field line. This is trouble, and it lands fair. Bounces around as in from third is Ibar. Hunter will score all the way from first. It's a 2-run double for Alberto Cayaspo, and the Angels take a 3-0 lead. Hit down that right field line and off the short fencing, and by the time it stops rolling around, 2 runs are in. RBI's 10 and 11 for Cayaspo on a pitch down and in, and it turns on it, sending it down the right field line.
Ball just had very little bite on it, kind of stayed right there where Cayasco could stay in and pull the ball.
In 8 games, this is the most runs the Angels have scored against a Red Sox starter. 3 runs. And they're looking for more now as Vernon Wells takes strike 1. Wells grounded out to shortstop in the second inning. Left field line. Will it stay fair? No. In the corner. Very little foul ground, but somehow Wells found it. Just kept hooking away.
Another pitch. Lackey left out over the plate.
Sort of a hanger.
Yep.
Lucky that it went foul, and it's 0-2. Just a couple of feet down there, and Wells finding it. Assuredly scored Cayaspo from second base, but it's 0-2 now. In the dirt, 1-2. Saltalamacchia's had to work hard this inning. He's been all over the place blocking balls.
Absolutely. Well, again, Lackey's been very inconsistent with his breaking ball. Pitch he left out, never got in on Ibar. The pitch he left out on Cayaspo and Wells.
Wells fouls it off to the right, not a play. We see Vernon's dad when we are in Texas. Very good artist. This will be the 30th pitch of the inning, and now it's 60 already for Lackey. Tried to hold up, but did he? Yes, he did, according to Scott Berry, first base umpire, and it's 2-2. It looked like a good call. Look at the pitch breakdown for Lackey, working the hardest in this inning, as the Angels have scored 3 times so far here in the third. This is hit sharply to second base. Scudero's got it, and he throws out Wells to end the inning. A 3-run inning for the Angels, who take a 3-0 lead. Bella Insurance. Peter Gammons, I know him, talks to the Sox catching tandem. Dustin Pedroia recaps his 13th pitch at bat and much more. It's the Ultimate Red Sox Show this Sunday at noon.
Think of all the things we did this spring. Jason Varitek and Jared Saltalamacchia sitting down on the stage that we had there down at the minor league complex. And they're discussing being unselfish, how they work off one another, how they work with pitchers. I thought it was one of the most fascinating discussions I'd ever had the privilege of participating in.
It's amazed me about Varitek, and I guess it really shouldn't, knowing about his character and who he is. But when Victor Martinez came here, the guy that helped Victor Martinez the most and the guy who's taking his playing time away was Jason Varitek.
I mean, Victor used to say to me, he spends more time with me than he does with the pitchers. And you remember, he had that awful night against Texas last year. It was a rainy night here. Wakefield was pitching, and they stole 8 or 9 bases, and there were a couple of fans who had had a few beers that were heckling Victor Martinez, and Jason Varitek started up into the stands defending Victor Martinez. It just...
J.D. Drew hits a 2-hopper out to Kendrick at second base on the first out of the third inning.
Being a good teammate can be a little exaggerated, but it's not the case of Jason Varitek. He's a great teammate.
Down here in the third inning, Jared Saltalamacchia hitting at .203, no homers and 7 runs batted in. Had some fans ask me recently in one of the mailbags on NESN.com about who will be the next captain of the Red Sox, and the name that kind of jumps out to me, and I'd be curious to get your opinion, and not that the Red Sox have to have a captain, they've gone several years without one, but Dustin Pedroia to me jumps out. I
agree. I think that his leadership capability, the way the rest of the team feeds off that energy is, I mean, there are very few players like him. Players on other teams love to be around him. I mean, I'll go to see the Mets and David Wright will say, got any good Pedroia stories for me?
So on the ground to first baseman Mark Trumbo. He'll take it himself. And there's 2 down here in the third inning.
I was doing a a long interview, conversation with Jared Weaver the morning after the 13-pitch, 9-foul ball at bat. And I hadn't realized that Weaver and Pedroia were teammates on Team USA in 2003 and have remained friends. And I mean, we were all laughing. It sounded like Weaver was just couldn't stop talking about Pedroia. He just beat you, you know, but...
Two down in the third inning. Marco Scudero in on the right side. Pedroia was talking about after the game how it faced him, of course, a collegiate ball. Chance to face him out west.
That was pretty cool. I mean, Weaver was at Long Beach. Troy Tulowitzki was the shortstop, and Weaver, and you had Ethier and Pedroia playing for Arizona State, so not too bad.
Now, Ian Kinsler transferred, right?
Yes, he was the starting shortstop. Pedroia came and took his job, and so he transferred to Missouri.
This one fouled off to the right, not a play. Pretty good talent.
Yes. Weaver said, ooh.
Nice grab. Good concentration. 1-2 to Marco Scudero with 2 outs in the inning. And that's just off the plate, 2-2.
Weaver did say that, well, you know, Tulowitzki and Pedroia are just alike. Dustin said, well, difference of about a foot and 100 pounds. But
ties him up inside. Full count, 3-2. Pinheiro working with the lead. Angels on top 3-0. And Scudero now. The inning continues. It'll be Jacoby Ellsbury next. Inside, and it's ball 4. Second walk given up by Pinheiro of his outing. And it'll be second time through now for the Red Sox against Pinheiro. So what kind of adjustments they make. They've not had a base hit today against Pinheiro. Ellsbury bounced out to second base. His first at bat. Scudero held on at first by Trumbo. In there for strike 1. Seven ground ball outs for Pinheiro here through 2 2/3. His 50th pitch. He is down low, 1-1.
well, he keeps trying to change eye levels. He throws a sinker, and then he'll throw the curveball. He first came up, he could really throw hard. You see, I think he hurt his arm before coming over here.
Falls behind now, 2-1. And Mike Butcher coming out. So with 2 outs in the inning. Walk of Scudero, now he's fallen behind Ellsbury. But you're noticing something as he comes out. And in Seattle, in the back-to-back seasons of double figures in victories for Pinheiro was 14-7 in 2002, 16-11 in 2003. And a couple of years in which he was under 500 individually, 7-11, 8-13, and that's when his career in Seattle ended. And he came to Boston as a reliever. In 2007, went back to starting 3 years with the Cardinals. Was 15-12 in his last year in St. Louis in 2009, and then last year 10-7, first year with the Angels back in the American League West. This is driven out towards right center field. Wells moves over and makes the catch on a line drive to right that ends the third inning. We have played 3. It's 3-0 Angels. trivia question. Our question is, which three former Angels hitters have led the league in hit by pitch in a season? Maybe that's for a little bit later. Cinco de Mayo, everybody decked out here at Fenway Park. A 3-0 Angels lead as we head to the top half of the fourth inning. We'll see Mark Trumbo, Jeff Mathis, and Peter Borges face John Lackey, who's 62 pitches deep. Missing his first batter here of the fourth inning. And it starts off ahead of Trumbo. Ran into some trouble in the third inning, and it started right away. Hit Peter Borges. Gave up 2 hits and a walk and 3 runs in the third inning, throwing 31 pitches. Equaled his total from the first 2 innings. Trumbo grounded back to Lackey in the second inning, 0 for 1. Trumbo growing up in the shadows of Angel Stadium, 18th round pick in 2004 at nearby Villa Park High School.
He was a pitcher, drafted as a pitcher. And he got the instructional leg, hurt his arm. So they said, well, try hitting. He did, and here he is. He and Phil Hughes lived across town, and they actually played against each other in youth baseball.
2-2 is down low. What do you know about Phil Hughes? Certainly that injury has set back the Yankees. That's the last thing they really needed.
Well, they gave him a cortisone shot. They were really glad to find that there wasn't any circulation problem or anything that could have really been serious. So they claim he just got a cortisone shot, and now they're saying, 4, 6, 8 weeks. But clearly his velocity had dropped dramatically.
Here's ball 4. Lackey wanted it, doesn't get it. And there is the third walk given up by Lackey. Let's check in with Heidi.
Well, Don, John Lester and Clay Buchholz will be introducing their new charity wines at an event after the game today. Chardonnay Clay and Cabernets. Now, the wines proceeds benefit charity for each of the players. For Clay Buchholz, that money is going to be donated to the Jimmy Fund. And for John Lester, it goes to the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center, which is one of the facilities he was treated at for lymphoma. You will be able to purchase the wine at your local liquor store in the very near future, or you can go online to CharityWine.com. Don?
All right, Heidi, thanks very much. The Angels still trying to run, and this time they're gunned down by Saltalamacchia. After the Angels had stolen 3 bases in the first 3 innings, Mark Trumbo is gunned down.
Well, it's obviously a game plan. Okay, going to run a light, going to try to see what we can do against Saltalamacchia. And even the one stolen base there, he made a very good throw on it. Yeah, this is probably good for Salty. Getting tested a lot. I thought it was really important on that pitch out with Wakefield on Sunday. I mean, one of the things that people worried about with him was, well, if he's got an open shot at a guy and he's got time, how will he throw? And he made a great throw in that situation. That was a tremendous throw there. Probably under 2 seconds.
Swing and a miss on a pitch down and away. Gets away from Saltalamacchia briefly, so he's got to throw down to first. And there's 2 down in the inning. That is just the first strikeout for either pitcher today. And the slider again this time, and going to strike out Mathis with it. Yeah, it seems like when Saltalamacchia doesn't have time to think about it, just throw. That's when he's at his best. And he guns down Mark Trumbo here for caught stealing. There's out Mathis and the strikeout, and the put out that goes 2-3, 2 down for Peter Borges. He got it all started in the third inning against Lackey as he was hit by a pitch, and that scored the Angels' first run. This one fouled off. Just 24 years old. This year not qualifying as a rookie. He was called up from AAA Salt Lake last year on August 3rd. He appeared in 51 games for the Angels. Started 50 of his 51 games in center field. And that was the first time when he came up and arrived on the scene August 3rd at Baltimore. Torrey Hunter made his first start in a corner outfield position since '99. Lackey's wanted a few of these, but they haven't been strikes. 1-2 pitch. Down and away, 2-2. You gotta know that an organization thinks very highly of you, that when you arrive, you move Torrey Hunter someplace else.
Well, Borges is great. His greatest tool is his speed and his ability to play defense in center field. I mean, when the Trout kid comes up in another year, he'll probably end up playing left field. Doesn't have as good an arm. He can run as fast as Borges, but
Borges out of Notre Dame High School in Scottsdale, Arizona.
his father played for the Giants. He's now a scout, very respected guy in the baseball community.
Scout for the Baltimore Orioles. 3-2 is lined into center field. 2-out base hit for Peter Borges, on for the second time in the game. As the fourth Angels hit. For Lackey, appeared to be a fastball. It was, got a lot of the plate at 89, was up.
Got him 0-2 and then missed with a breaking ball, and then ends up in that count 3-2, throwing fastball right down the middle.
So 2 down, Borges at first base, and Eric Ibar 1 for 2 today. Tigers hosting the Yankees today. They're playing day baseball as well. That's scheduled to face Porcello in that action. This one grounded foul into the Red Sox dugout. Got to Marlo Hale and they bagged it. Behind Mags. In the air to shallow center. Ellsbury actually started back. Now comes in and can't get it. Borges from first base will be stopped at third. And returning to the bag at first is Ibar. First look, Ellsbury started backwards.
Absolutely.
And then all of a sudden had to come in a hurry and couldn't get there. Going out was Marco Scudero making a bid, and then nobody was covering second base for a little while, so Ibar thought about taking second. So the inning continues. First and third with 2 down.
The Yankees are playing today with Jeter and A-Rod both out of the lineup, so.
Mentioned A.J. Burnett scheduled to pitch their 4-1 start for Burnett to this season, which the Yankees certainly need.
Well, people forget he was 6-2 last year through May.
It was the 80th pitch for John Lackey. He stepped to third to look to first, doesn't throw to either venue, and he got Ibar heading in the wrong direction initially. There goes Ibar at first. This is lined into center field, a base hit. From third comes Borges. He will score. Throw goes to third, and it's not in time. So all this with 2 outs for the Angels. They tack on another run and lead it 4-0.
Another pitch left out over the plate.
Right out over. And into center field, Kendrick picks up his second hit, second RBI of the game. And the Angels lead it 4-0. It's been 50 pitches in the last 2 innings after 31 in the first 2. And the pitch count up to 80 again. We're young, and the Red Sox need Lackey to go deep into this game. And having trouble here in the 4th inning, and now trailing 4-0. Red Sox now, of course, with Atchison added and Hill as well. And the Red Sox bullpen with Wheeler and Jenks going on the DL today. As Abreu takes a pitch outside, ball one.
And you know, no matter if it's the Sevis or Wakefield pitching tomorrow, you're going to probably need the bullpen in that game.
The writer's asking about Rich Hill and his starting capacity. He's only gone an inning and a third at the most for the Paw Sox, so he's not stretched out.
He's really done well in reinventing himself as a left-handed reliever. Left-handers have only got one hit off him over a whole year at Pawtucket. And he was explaining to me, remember how far he had dropped with his arm slice, kind of halfway in between, sort of a low three-quarters angle, but he's had better command of his fastball and been very effective with his breaking ball and his changeup.
Lackey behind again, 2-0. Abreu carves it foul. What's going on with Andrew Miller with the Paw Sox this year?
He's been inconsistent with his delivery. His velocity's been very good, up to 97. Still has trouble with his delivery and with the consistency. I mean, I think they knew it was going to be a half-a-year project. I still think he's going to be very good. I'm not sure he won't be a reliever, but
he's back up the middle into center field. A base hit from third comes Ibar. He scores, and the Angels take a 5-0 lead. Bobby Abreu with his first hit picks up his 14th RBI, and it's 5-0 Angels.
okay. Okay. The Amica pitch zone is brought to you by Amica Insurance. Amica Insurance. It's not just how you're covered, it's how you're treated.
All the hits in the inning over the plate.
Absolutely. Right. Boy, that was right in where Kendrick loves it. And he's had a little trouble getting the ball in and keeping the ball down. We talked about before the game about him trying to regain that movement down in the zone, because that's who he is, but he has not been what makes John Lackey good today.
First and third, 2 down, and a swing and a miss. Big cut from Hunter. He's come out of his shoes on that one. Pitching line brought to you by Ace Ticket. Lackey 3 2/3, giving up 5 runs on 7 hits. Walk 3, a strikeout, and 86 pitches. Kendrick at third. Abreu crossed the diamond at first base. Been a 4-hit inning. We'll check on Abreu. The Angels have been running. And 3 stolen bases in the first 3 innings before Mark Trumbo was caught trying to steal in this inning. There goes Abreu. And a line drive into right field. A base hit. From third comes Kendrick. He'll score. Abreu heading for third. He'll be stopped there. And the Angels take a 6-0 lead. 5th straight single for the Angels.
And again, right out and out over the plate.
Towards the end of the bat, that time for Hunter. The 89-mile-an-hour fastball, so first and third. A 3-run third, a 3-run fourth. Day baseball for Lackey last year was a struggle. A 5.77 ERA during the day, almost 2 runs higher than his work at night, as Scott Atchison warms in the pen. And strike one, a high strike to Callaspo. Eighth batter Lackey has faced here in the 4th inning, his 90th pitch. And it's outside. Fly ball lifted to left. Crawford moving over and under. He'll make the catch. It ends the inning. Everything coming with 2 outs in the 4th inning. And by everything, I mean the 3 runs. It's 6-0 Angels. Trivia question: which 3 former Angels hitters have led the league in hit by a pitch in a season? The answer: Don Baylor, David Eckstein, and Rick Reichard. Eckstein led 2 straight seasons, 02 and 01. He holds the Angel record for hit by pitch in a season, 27 and 02. Reichard, Peter will tell you more about in a minute. 1966 was hit 13 times. Baylor led 1978 with the Angels, also led as a member of the Orioles and Red Sox. And Kevin Youkilis tied Mo Vaughn, the all-time Red Sox record last night when he was hit his 71st time. Baylor ranks 4th on the Red Sox all-time list. Tell us about Rick Reichard.
Well, baseball initiated the draft because of the bonus that the Angels gave Rick Reichard. They used to be able to bid on them, and there was no draft. They were just free agents that everybody could bid on. And at the time, I think it was a $350,000 bonus. Sounds like nothing today. But he got it from the Angels. He was a wide receiver from the University of Wisconsin. And they were so outraged by the thought of him making over $300,000 that they started the draft. I have no idea how I remembered that.
Well, Joel Pinheiro, working here into the 4th inning, is not allowed a hit. He has walked 2. David Ortiz walked in the 2nd. Marco Scudero walked in the 3rd. And he deals with 2, 3, and 4. Crawford, Youkilis, and Gonzalez. Slap foul, 1 and 2. Crawford flied out to the warning track in the 1st inning. Borges able to make the catch out there, deep left center field, back by the 379 marker. Coming in and down and in, 2 and 2. Full count. Pinheiro starting the year on the DL. Missed the first 25 games with tightness in his right shoulder. His first start April 30th at Tampa Bay. 1 run in 7 innings, and here he is into the 4th. He hasn't given up a hit today. This is back up and off Pinheiro. He will not have a play with Crawford running, and there is a hit. Painful one for Joel Pinheiro. Got him in the leg, I think, right back at him. And a base hit for Carl Crawford. Turned away. Seems like got him in the back thigh. Hamstring area. And Crawford now with a 5-game hitting streak with that base hit is aboard. Pinheiro about to throw his 60th pitch. Nicholas grounded out to third base in the first inning, 0 for 1. Strike over the outside corner as Youkilis looking back at Laz Diaz. 1-1. Pinheiro's not going to overpower. He's been 87, 89 with his fastball. And it just does get the corner. I made an argument for both pitches, but it's 1-1.
Yeah, just keeps sinking, and then tries to change the eye level with the curveball.
This is rip foul. Absolutely cleaned out by Youkilis. Six ground ball outs induced by that sinker by Pinheiro. Angels a double play depth as the 1-2 is low and outside 2-2. Crawford started and stopped at first base. Red Sox are trailing by 6 runs, but that's what they do. They run. Pinheiro ready with a 2-2 pitch to Kevin Youkilis. He went around, says home plate umpire Laz Diaz, and strikes out. Youkilis can't believe it. He wants him to check, but Diaz making the call himself. And it's just the first strikeout for Pinheiro. Tried to hold up, and from that angle looked like he did. We'll get a better look here. Diaz getting the angle from the back, said that he went around. Didn't check, made the call himself. So 1 down here in the 4th inning. First strikeout for Pinheiro.
Given that there's no rule on a check swing, it makes the whole thing very complicated.
It's definitely his intent to swing at one point.
Yes, but did he follow through? That's. I remember Bobby Valentine and I once were trying to find out that, because it's not in the rule book. Okay, or in the minor league guys, we found the director of the minor league umpires.
Sharply hit to short, could be 2. Ibar tags the bag and then fires to first. It is 2. And it ends things here in the 4th. The Angels lead at 6-0.
Who informed us that there was no rule anywhere on what a check swing is.
On top 6-0. They've out-hit the Red Sox 8-1 in this game. And here we go to the 5th inning. John Lackey back on the mound. He gave up 3 runs in the 3rd, 3 runs in the 4th inning. And at 91 pitches through the first 4 innings, as Vernon Wells climbs in the box on the right side. Wells 0 for 2. He's grounded to short and to second base. The grounds went back up the middle into center field, a base hit. We start the 5th inning. Angels with their hitting shoes on today. Lackey's had a lot of the play. This time it was on the outside corner, but just kind of hooking that back up the middle was Wells.
But the ball was up more than it didn't have a lot of run on it.
Hutchinson, who's up last inning, back up again. Mark Trumbo batting. He's grounded back to the mound and walked that caught trying to steal in the 4th inning. The Angels are 3 out of 4 in stolen base attempts in this game. As Wells gains a lead at first base. It's outside, 2-0. Angels now have 43 hits in the series. Eastern Bank is teaming up with Adrian and Betsy Gonzalez to help local families by donating $1,000 for every home run Adrian hits this season to select Habitat for Humanity affiliates in Eastern Massachusetts. Lead runner on in the 5th inning for the Angels. Mark Trumbo waiting on a 2-0. There goes Wells. Pitches a strike and the throw not in time and gets away.
Got a huge jump on that.
Stolen base number 4 of the day for the Angels. There's the jump. It's halfway before the ball got out of Lackey's hand. It's 6 of last year, 1st of this year, and in scoring position with nobody out in the 5th. Trumbo swings according to Diaz. He evens the count at 2-2. High drive, deep left, up, back, and gone into the monster seats. Trumbo with his 6th home run of the year, and the Angels on top 8-0. And Terry Francona headed out to get John Lackey. 3 runs in the 3rd, 3 runs in the 4th, and a 2-run blast here in the 5th. Lackey came into this game 4-0 against his old team. He leaves trailing 8-0. Still nobody out here in the 5th inning. One of the additions to the Red Sox today, Scott Atchison, who last year was 2-3 with a 4.50 earned run average. 43 appearances last year. This year, started the year in Pawtucket, 9 games, 1.04 earned run average, 1-0. Worked in 17 1/3 and back up today. Mathis to right. Drew coming in to make the catch on the liner for the first out of the 5th. Kind of a mock cheer here at Fenway. 1 out. Frustrated John Lackey as he gives up 8 runs and watches Trumbo run around the bases and looks at him a long time. Words for him as he went by.
Well, he clearly was telling him to try to run the green light a little faster.
A little faster around the bases?
Yeah, I didn't think it was this was not Ricky Henderson against Danny Darwin.
He got around all right, it appeared.
Fine. He's a rookie. He's just going around. I mean, he's not going to do what David Eckstein, racing around the bases as fast as he could.
Probably more frustration in himself today, John.
No
Lackey.
question. I mean, you could sense as he could not get the ball where he wanted it, that frustration kept building.
Up the middle and by the dive of Lowry. Got a glove on it to slow it down. Scudero grabs it, trying for second and getting there. As Peter Borges, ball gets away and nobody's at third. He's going to keep running. Youkilis has come up lame at second base on the tag attempt.
This is unbelievable. I mean, I realize the guy's got great speed, but got 2 infielders lying on the ground after he's had his path going around the field.
This is ruled a double and an error that gets him to third base, and they're checking on Youkilis. Greg Barajas, the trainer, is out there.
And the Angels are out checking on Borges.
Get 2 guys down. 3 guys down. Lowry being checked on by Barajas. Terry Francona checking on Youkilis. Lowry coming up. The wrist has always been a problem for him, and last year, of course, the issue, and he comes up lame there, and then Youkilis gets run into. This was some kind of play. Collision here with Youkilis and Borges.
You really worry about Lowry's left wrist. He rolled over on it.
They have charged the error to Scudero on the throw. So there's a double and an error. Barajas, the trainer, coming off after checking with everybody. Infield in all the way around now with Borges at third base and 1 out. Down and in, ball 1.
Anytime you see someone roll over on his wrist under his glove, you start to worry about that.
He's still messing with it. The 1-0. Fouled off, 1-1.
We know when he heard it originally. He played for most of the season with it after he heard it originally diving into the stands of Pawtucket. But it was a good, more than a year recovery.
Outside corner for strike 2. He clearly rolled it and got out into left center. Right there. Wincing instantly as it happened. Glove coming off. On the ground, foul. Still 1-2 to Eric Ibar. That's with 1 out and a runner at third, 2 runs in. This has been explosion here for the Angels. The line on Lackey, incidentally, 4+ innings, 10 hits, 8 runs. He walked 3, struck out 1. He'd given up 8 runs in his first 4 outings against his old team, and gives up 8 runs today, 4+ innings. A 1-2. On the ground, infield in, off the glove of Gonzalez, and 1 run scores, diving in late. is Scudero. Ibar reaches. Borges scores, and the Angels lead it 9-0. Infield in and off the glove of Adrian Gonzalez. Scudero retrieves it behind Gonzalez, and then he tries to dive to the bag to get Ibar. Too much speed for Ibar, beats him, and the run scores in Borges. Gonzalez got a charging it, thinking about coming home with it, perhaps. Cut down another run. It's a base hit, an RBI for Ibar's third hit of the game, as Kendrick takes strike one. Kendrick a two-hit day, 2 runs batted in. The hits both singles to center field. Here's a single to right field. Here comes Drew to play it. Stopping at second is Ibar. And there's the third straight hit for the Angels off Scott Atchison in his return to Fenway Park. Atchison's going to go a while here, good or bad.
Yeah,
There's nobody stirring in the pen as Atchison has given up 3 straight hits. A run of his own, and Bobby Abreu now standing in.
Now, if it takes all night, he's going to stand out there and finish this game.
In there for strike one. This is taking one for the team right now. Longest outing Atchison had with the Pawtucket Red Sox was 4 1/3 innings. His 0-1 pitch. Abreu to short, and a nice leaping play by Lowry to turn it into 2. The wrist may be hurting, but he makes a nice grab to end the inning. Angels lead it 9-0. Rolling his wrist. That he injured last year, and rolling it on this play back up the middle in obvious pain after rolling it. And kind of messed with it the rest of the inning. No question was bothering him afterwards, and then he makes this catch on a line drive, elevating and turns it into a double play. And it'll be Lowry who bats second in this inning as the Red Sox come to bat in the home half of the 5th inning. David Ortiz coming up. Lowry, then Drew in the 5th, and lots to work to do here for the Red Sox. Trailing 9-0 in the game. They have mustered just 1 hit off Joel Pinheiro, who has strike 1 into David Ortiz. Pinheiro has walked 2 batters, and lots of ground ball outs, inducing 2 double plays in 2 of the first 4 innings. There's a strike, 0-2. David with one of the walks back in the second inning. The other walk belonging to Marco Scudero. '70th pitch for Pinheiro. It's cranked foul on the ground down by the tarp.
In this sort of situation, all Pinheiro has to do is basically just keep throwing strikes, make it very simple, because with a big lead, the Red Sox are prone to be over anxious in this situation. And it's something Joel is very good at taking advantage of.
It's amazing how some guys get no support and other guys seem to get plenty of runs. And here today he's got 9 runs. As he works here in the 5th inning, sometimes the 5th can be the toughest. You're thinking about grabbing the victory. He does not have one yet. This is when he's sent foul. Just making yourself eligible to put yourself in that spot. It is 2-2 to David Ortiz. Angels in the full shift. Big Poppy, Howie Kendrick in short right field, and Eric Ibar on the right side of the infield. Only Ayaspo left on the left side.
It's interesting, though. They've got that shift, and yet Pinheiro's gone away from him on consecutive pitches.
Ortiz goes the other way to deep left. Abreu is back. It's going to be off the scoreboard. Abreu plays it quickly, and the throw to second is going to be close, and Big Poppy's going to be out. Abreu playing it quickly off the scoreboard. And Ortiz thrown out, trying to stretch it into a double.
Well, they went back out again, contrary to the shift. Poppy did what he wanted to do, but Abreu actually made a very nice play quickly off the wall here. It's just when you're down 9-0, not great judgment. Easy for us to say. When you're down 9-0, you're trying too hard.
And one down here in the 5th. Jed Lowry sends one foul off to the left, out of play.
When Lowry hurt that wrist, it affected him much more left-handed hitting than right-handed hitting, because he's so right-handed dominant.
But no doubt it changed his season entirely.
Oh, absolutely.
Ball 1 strike to Lowry. He grounded into a 4-6-3 double play in the second inning. In the dirt, 2-1. Just the second start for Joel Pinheiro of the year. Started the year in the DL. No decision against Tampa, but he did go 7 innings in that first start against the Rays. And 83 pitches. It's at 76 right now. There is no action in the pen for Mike Scioscia. And a big lead for the Angels.
One of the things that helped them alleviate the problem of not having Pinheiro in the rotation.
Lowry jolts this out towards deep center field. Back goes Borges into the triangle. It'll jump up. The fan will grab it, and it'll be a double for Jed Lowry.
It's a very good sign for Jed there, considering the past history of weakness hitting left-handed when he was hurt. So he rolls the wrist and hits the ball 400 feet.
And as you said, the problem was the left side.
Yes.
There he is from the left side, driving that out to the 420 marker.
Sinker and good extension.
ground. Lowry at second base, and J.D. Drew grounded out to second base first time up. His return to the Red Sox lineup, battling a little bit of vertigo last night. Terry Francona said before the game it's something that he has had a problem with over the years. These guys are trying to state their case. I think they did not lean over. The discussion going on. And 1-0 is inside. 2-0. Double by Lowry is the third hit of the day for the Red Sox. As the judgment has come down. '80th pitch for Pinheiro. Inside, ball 3. Not as sharp here in the 5th inning as he had been through the first 4. Ball 4, and Drew walks. Third walk given up by Pinheiro. Boston Red Sox baseball in NESN is brought to you by Eastern Bank. Commitment, compassion, and love of the game. These are just some of the things Eastern Bank is made of. Find out what we're made of at easternbank.com. Butcher, the pitching coach of the Angels, out on the mound with 1 out here in the 5th inning. And Jed Lowry at second base. J.D. Drew at first. Jared Saltalamacchia coming up. Pinheiro can always turn a double play ball. He's already had that happen behind him twice in the game. Saltalamacchia grounded out to first base in the 3rd inning. Jared takes strike 1.
Tigers have gone ahead of the Yankees 5-2. Nunez, who was Jeter's replacement, just made an error scored 2 runs for Detroit.
What are your thoughts on Derek Jeter's play so far this season?
He has struggled. I mean, he went through the whole thing where during the winter he tried to change his batting stance and was going straight to the pitcher rather than diving in. He also eliminated his stride, so he looked like DiMaggio or Paul Molitor, and he was uncomfortable with it when the season started. He actually changed right before he came here, and it's been an uncomfortable year for him. I mean, it just seems as if he's always under the microscope. While he's getting old, he's getting this, and there was a lot of hangover from the negotiations that were not exactly pleasant.
This is on the ground right side. This could be the 3rd double play of the day for the Angels, and it is. Pinheiro having his 3rd turn behind him, and the Angels have a 9-0 lead. Official hospital of the Boston Red Sox. They're asking, what do you know about keeping bones and joints strong? Step up to the plate and take their 9-inning quiz at bidmc.org/healthyis. Top half of the 6th inning back at Fenway Park. Angels on top 9-0, out hitting the Red Sox 13-3. And more Scott Atchison back on the mound for the Red Sox, and he will be out there a while.
Maybe poor Eric Chavez should go to Beth Israel. I mean, this poor guy with all the injuries he's had, he just broke a bone in his foot today. I mean, it's...
Between all the back problems that he had, one of the game's best third basemen.
Absolutely.
Seems strange to see him anywhere but Oakland. Of course, with the Yankees this year, we saw him in spring training.
He's been a very valuable guy. That could be an important injury.
Hunter out to shallow right center at Salisbury. Makes the catch, and Torrey Hunter is retired for the first time today. He walked twice and singled, but out number 1 of the 6th inning. Back to the Jeter thing. It fascinates me this offseason. We talked a lot about it during the Red Sox Hot Stove Live. That whole negotiation and the way that whole thing went down. I mean, you think of what Jeter means to that organization and how ugly that whole thing really was.
It should have been done in August. I'm sorry. To me, it should have been done quietly, privately. I mean, Derek is clearly so pained by any public interrogation. Then all of a sudden, there are pictures of his house on the cover of the New York Post. So, I mean, I think it's created a situation where there's a discomfort level between management and Derek Jeter, and and then now there's the new Ian O'Connor book, which is very good, what I've read of it. But the A-Rod Jeter conflicts from years past, okay, that's old news, but there's a lot about Derek Jeter versus Brian Cashman that now comes up, and that's not going to go away. Brian Cashman's going to be the general manager, and Derek Jeter's going to be the shortstop, and plus there's now, should he be hitting leadoff?
This is down the line and right, a fair ball off the bat of Callaspo. He's already got a double in the game, and looks like he's going to have another one as Drew gets it back in quickly. 1-out double for Callaspo. It's a very strange offseason for the Yankees altogether. So used to the Yankees going out and getting the guy that they expect to get in the offseason, and it seemed like they put all their eggs in one basket to get Cliff Lee. That didn't happen, and things just seemed to not go well. No,
it didn't, except that they did make a very significant signing in Russell Martin, who's done a great job for them. He's caught all but one game, and there are a lot of people who thought there's no way that guy would play again after he fractured his hip and had knee operations. It turned out that the hip operation was very simple, and even though he struggled in spring training, once the season started, his knee was all right. The question now is going to be, can he play at 150-game pace? I mean, I think that's something that might be a little bit dangerous.
Swing and a miss. So truth to the rumor that the Red Sox had offered him only a minor league deal to come here.
Well, they looked at him, and there was a minor league deal, but the Red Sox medical staff really felt there were some serious issues between the hip and the knee, and I think it would have been very hard for the Red Sox to pay him $5 million, which is what it would have taken to bring him here.
Foul tip for Wells, and it's 1-2. Since he's coming into the game, has allowed 4 hits, 1 run of his own. The other 8 charged to John Lackey. Outside, 2-2. And one of the surprises when we saw him during spring training, Bartolo Colon for the Yankees. Incredible.
He's been really good.
Didn't see that one coming.
No. I mean, the Angels know him. I remember when he had that great start with the Red Sox. When he was at he pitched 5 really good games in a row, and a couple of the Angels staff people said to me, there's a warranty that will run out after 6 to 8 starts. But
Lowry at shortstop gathers and throws. Low throw, but it's dug out by Gonzalez as Callaspo takes third. 2 down in the inning. Yeah, you keep waiting for that thing to kind of blow up, but it hasn't.
The thought of Bartolo Colon, Freddie Garcia being regularly in the rotation is it's fascinating, but they've done a very good job. And eventually they'll decide what they want, who they want to go get, and come June or July, they'll probably make a further significant trade.
In the meantime, the Yankees are on top of the American League East, 17-11, a 2-game lead over the Rays. Ball went outside to Trumbo. And look at the standings as they are today. Boy, the Red Sox again for the second time getting close to being back to 500 again last night, but with the loss, 14-16, and right now trailing 9-0 today.
And Tampa Bay winning again today in the ninth inning against Toronto, 3-1. Hopefully Joe West hasn't thrown any managers out of that game yet.
You threw them both out, right?
Yes.
Aspo at third base, 2 down in the inning. Trumbo hit a long home run. His last time up in the 5th inning, his 6th of the year. Pitched down and away as Atchison stays away. Atchison not allowing an earned run in 7 of his last 8 appearances with the Paw Sox. 0.71 earned run average. This one fouled off, 2-2. I remind you, tomorrow night following Red Sox first pitch, to join us for Red Sox Game Day Live presented by Uno's with TC, Peter, and Heidi at 6:30. Sox get their first look at the Twins as they welcome Minnesota to town for a 4-game series. Plus the Boston Globe's Michael Vega will have the latest news and notes from the Sox clubhouse. Our coverage begins live from Yawkey Way with Friday Night Fenway tomorrow night at 5:30, and it's only on NESN. Here's a 2-2. Fouled off by Trumbo again. As I'm told, there were no ejections today in the Toronto-Tampa Bay game. You'll be happy to know.
One of the great things, Joe Madden got thrown out. Joe West made a call and got it right. It got overturned by the other umpires. And Joe West ejected Madden for going out and arguing that Joe got it right in the first place. It was, you couldn't make this up.
2 down here in the 6th inning. Aspo is at third base. Angels in danger going into double figures in runs. Trumbo has had a good at bat, fouls off another. Looking at this Angels team and the starting pitching they've received, and their lineup for the most part still not working on all cylinders until today anyway. I'm surprised more people didn't pick the Angels in the West. Are you?
They had a bad spring training, and I think that was one of the reasons. As opposed to the Rangers really did look very good coming out of spring training. But what we've seen develop in that division, I mean, you've got Weaver and Heron here. And you've got Pineda and King Felix in Seattle. You've got 3 really good young pitchers in Oakland.
Strike 3 to Mark Trumbo.
It's a pitching division.
It's a 9-0 Angels lead. stationary waterborne stain that outperforms the best oil-based stains on the market. Find Arbor Coat at your local Benjamin Moore retailer. 9-0. The Angels on top of the Red Sox as we play along to the last half of the 6th inning. Marco Scudero, Chase Jacoby Ellsbury, and Carl Crawford coming up against Joel Pinheiro.
You're right. Talking about Jeter, there's been a lot written in New York and said in New York about, well, Jeter should move, he should play the outfield, Nunez should be the shortstop. Just like this, Nunez has 5 errors and Jeter has 1. Maybe it might be a little early to start that movement.
A lot of people questioning the Gold Glove award last year, but he did win a Gold Glove, yes?
He did. I mean, I would debate that. I mean, I think Elvis Andrus probably should have had the Gold Glove, but wasn't as bad as Rafael Palmeiro winning the Gold Glove, playing 23 games or 28 games at first base.
Marco Scudero leading it off, quickly down 0-2. Batting here in the 6th. Reaches out, chops one right side. Kendrick will run it down and throw out Scudero. The first out of the 6th inning. It's time now for a look at the road ahead, brought to you by Safeco Insurance. Tomorrow the Red Sox will get their first look at the season of the Minnesota Twins. Twins enter the day with an 11-18 record, puts them 4th in the AL Central. Part of the problem, no Joe Mauer and a struggling Justin Morneau. Mauer is currently on the DL and has played just 9 games this season. Start of Morneau's 2011 season has not been good either. He's hitting just .207 after missing the second half of last year with the concussion. NESN's live coverage begins tomorrow at 5:30.
Delman Young and Jim Thome are both on the disabled list as well.
A pitch outside for ball 1 to Jacoby Ellsbury. Minnesota's pitching has been problematic. 4.73 earned run average, last in the American League. Last in hitting, last average-wise at .230, and last in earned run average. Two-0 pitch is in there for strike 2-1. Don't count out Ron Gardenhire, though. We've learned that.
That's right. The one thing that really, I mean, I think Joe Nathan's eventually going to be their closer. He'll get his velocity back with a couple more months off of Tommy John surgery. But they just don't have a dominant starting pitcher. I like Dunsing a lot, the guy who's pitching tomorrow night. But Carl Pavano has not pitched as well this year as he did last year. I mean, Liriano, if you go by those game scores that Bill James invented, it was the 2nd worst no-hitter of all time.
Pitch inside and down to first goes Jacoby Ellsbury. There's the 4th walk given up by Pinheiro. The walks have not been costly only because of the amount of double plays that he has been able to induce in this game. 3 of them in all. There is action in the Angels' pen for the first time today. Rich Thompson, who we saw last night or this morning, I forget which. Ellsbury on at first, 1 out. Carl Crawford down and in for ball 1. What do you think of the combination of Ellsbury then Crawford and second?
It's an interesting combination, but I think when Pedroia is in the lineup, then I think he just gets a lot more fastballs to hit if he's hitting in that 2-hole in back of Ellsbury and in front of Gonzalez.
Usually Pedroia gives Terry Francona a hard time anytime Francona wants to give him a day off. Terry said today that he informed Dustin last night around the 12th inning that he's going to have today off and did not get any problems back. And Dustin really kind of needing a day, or at least not arguing over having today off.
Now, he's struggled recently, there's no question. And he looked really tired today. I deservedly so. He's played every game. He plays his heart out all the time. There's nothing wrong with having a day off.
There's a strike, 2-1.
I mean, even with a 29-game hitting streak, his sidekick Andre Etienne took yesterday off. A little stiffness in his elbow, but Tom Hagley felt he's a little worn from this hitting streak.
Fouled off to the left hand, out of play. With everything that's going on with the Dodgers and all the swirls around the ownership and everything else, how's Don Mattingly doing as a manager?
Well, I mean, the players really trust him. I think when you look at what Kemp and Ethier have done, I think a lot of it is traced how much they trust him. But the team's thin. They don't have the kind of money to spend that you would think they would have in Los Angeles.
Swinging a foul tip that is held onto, and Crawford is out number 2. It's the second strikeout for Pinheiro.
In the whole ownership mess weighs on everybody there.
Well, it looks like it's going to do it for Pinheiro with 2 outs in the inning. Out comes Mike Soch. It's 9-0 Angels. A pitching change from Fenway Park. To have a full preview of Game 4 between the Bruins and Flyers. Boston looks to complete the series sweep tomorrow night and advance to the conference finals for the first time since 1992. Let's look ahead to Game 3 between the Celtics and Heat. All this and much more on NESN Daily tonight at 10, only on NESN. 9-0 Angels on top of the Red Sox. Joel Pinheiro leaves after 5 2/3 innings. As this call to the bullpen is brought to you by New England Ford dealers. Rich Thompson into the game for the Angels. His 11th appearance, 1-1 with a 2.25 ERA. He has 19 strikeouts in 16 innings. Opponent sitting at 200 against him. He's 19 strikeouts, ranked second among AL relievers. As he deals with strike 1 to Kevin Youkilis. Comes in with 2 outs in the inning and Jacoby Ellsbury at first base. Trumbo playing in front of Ellsbury. Eagles bullpen, a 3.26 ERA, good for 6th in the American League. 1-1. Youkilis hits a fly ball out to center field. Peter Borges backpedals and makes the catch and ends things in the 6th inning. We head for the 7th, 9-0 Angels. Top of the 7th inning, 9-0. The Angels on top of the Red Sox. Jeff Mathis leading it off here for the Angels. Defensive change for the Red Sox. Carl Crawford comes out of the game. Darnell McDonald is in. Taking over in left field as Mathis with a swing and a miss. Atchison has been in the game since the 5th inning in relief of John Lackey. Lackey went 4+, 10 hits, 8 runs, walked 3, struck out 1, and Atchison's been charged with 1 run since coming in. This is lined into center field. Leadoff single for Jeff Mathis as we check back in with Heidi.
Well done. Scott Atchison and Rich Hill both got a call about 3:30 this morning telling them to pack their bags and come to Fenway Park for the game today. Terry Francona said both had been pitching well at AAA.
Rich Hill's been pretty good. Getting the lefties, even with the righties throwing a changeup, the arm slot's been pretty consistent. They both did what we asked them to do. You know, they were late cuts and they were tough ones, and they were disappointed. And neither one went down and pouted, and they went and did their job. And now, you know, we always tell them, do your job, and when there's a need, and this is what happened.
Now, Hill had a 1-0 record with a 1.13 ERA at Pawtucket, while Atchison was matching him at 1-0 with a 1.04 ERA. Atchison had been stretched out a bit. He threw 4 1/3 innings in one outing this season. Don?
Yeah, Heidi, thanks very much. Peter Borges drops one into shallow right between Scudero going out and Drew coming in. It's a base hit. Drew went into a slide and could not make the catch in for Peter Borges, his 3rd hit of the day.
Well, one of the things that Borges has been trying to do is make more consistent contact. He's been swings and misses have been a big problem for him. With his speed, he just needs to put the ball in play, and he's really worked hard at it. Matter of fact, he went out underneath, was doing some flips today, working, just concentrating on putting the ball in play.
Strike 1 to Ibar. There are 3 Angels in this game who have as many hits as the Red Sox do as a team. Peter Borges, Eric Ibar, and Howie Kendrick, all with 3 hits in the contest. Red Sox 3 hits as a team. Crawford, Ortiz, and Lowry. And the Angels are out hitting the Red Sox 16-3. This is as one-sided as it has been this season. The 0-2 is outside, 1-2.
It'll be interesting to see what the announced crowd is, because they're clearly streaking off. There are clearly a lot of empty seats now. Maybe people who had bought these seats and just didn't come. But
this one grounded foul into the seats, and it's 1-2. Well, Dunkin' Donuts is in its 13th year of hosting local youth groups and charitable organizations in the Dunkin' Dugout. Special seating section at Fenway Park. Thousands of children have had the chance to catch a Red Sox home game thanks to Dunkin' Donuts. All filled up out there and enjoying the ball game today, at least being at the ballpark today. The score is not in the Red Sox favor at the moment. 1-2. Ibar sends it out towards left center, hooking back to McDonald for out number 1. It's time for a game break in. Tom Caron, TC. Okay, Tom, thanks very much. Tell David Price to just take over a game like that.
Wow, those 2 pitches, the 95 down in the zone and the 97 that was running up in the zone. What ability.
In the dirt, Saltalamacchia able to corral it.
There's great video of him during BP yesterday. He hit a home run, and he went around the bases, did cartwheels, he slid into third, and then he did a cartwheel going into home plate. It was tremendous.
I know it is early, but I'm surprised at how well Tampa Bay is doing.
I am surprised. I mean, you lose 12 guys off the team with the best record in the league, and say, well, they can't be the same, but they have a ton of flexibility. They have, 5 players who can play anywhere from 4 to 7 positions. They have a lot of switch hitters, and they've rebuilt the bullpen pretty well. Now, let's face it, in a Tampa Bay, Florida, someplace like that, with less attention, it's a little easier to build that bullpen, but they've done a really good job. Remember, they started out 0-7, scored 11 runs in their first 7 games.
Think about the entire bullpen being overhauled, and what a great season they had. The game was over, the 8th and 9th innings between Benoit and Soriano, as Kendrick strikes out, 2 down here in the 7th. And both those guys, of course, now playing for other teams. Hutchinson, bit of a cutter there, and he's able to strike out Kendrick. So 2 down in the 7th inning.
And Benoit has not come close to duplicating in Detroit what he did in Tampa.
He really kind of set the market for a lot of relievers last year. He was first to go. Years and money in Detroit. This is rattled out to deep center field. Ellsbury going back, and it's going to be over his head. And back to the garage door. Mathis scores. Borges scores in behind him. It is a 2-run double for Bobby Abreu. And the Angels take an 11-0 lead. Right down the middle for Abreu, and the swing carries out to the triangle area.
Shame of Tampa is, I mean, they drew 12,600 today. They drew 9,000 the other night. It's just, there's no attendance there. Now, I realize that their hockey team is playing great, but at the same time.
This one tap foul. Let me ask you this. There's been so much talk about, it seemed like they're getting close to building a stadium there, then they're not. I talked to Joe Madden about where a good place the stadium is to put one, but it just seems so hard to get to Tropicana Field. It's not an easy spot for people coming home from work.
Well, I think it's the only ballpark built on an island. You have to cross a bridge to get there, and as one who's been doing a lot of spring trainings down there, crossing those bridges can take a lot of time. It's in a very bad neighborhood. They're tied up into a lease for a long time. The mayor of St. Petersburg is saying he won't let them break it. But the other problem is, with 13% unemployment in that section of Florida, it's really hard to be able to get public funding to build a ballpark. I think Tampa's a great city. I think it would be very successful down by the waterfront. But I just don't see how economically it can happen. I'm not sure there are any places now where there's going to be public funding of ballparks. I think that era is over. I think the Yankees were the last team to really be able to milk taxpayers for a grand stadium.
This is on the ground towards short. Lowry to his left will go to first with it for the out. That ends the inning, but the Angels tack on 2 more, take an 11-0 lead. 7th inning stretch. See Jim and Heidi get a breakdown of John Lackey's outing, including his take on today's performance. Plus, they'll have the manager's perspective in the From the Press Room segment. It's all coming up right after the game on WB Mason's Extra Innings Live. The wind has picked up. They have taken cover off the tarp, which is never a good sign. And it is lightly raining as we start this last half of the 7th inning. Not a lot of good news. Not a good
I think the Red Sox would be very happy if the umpiring crew went out and said, you know, this is going to last all night, end of game. Thank you, bullpen.
Adrian Gonzalez leading it off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And he takes strike one. Adrian has grounded out twice. That's the second base. Other time into a double play. Gonzalez, Ortiz, and Lowry scheduled here in the 7th inning. Red Sox trailing 11-0. On the ground foul. The wind has picked up significantly here at Fenway Park.
Actually, I could look across at some of the buildings and I can see the rain.
It is coming
about
down.
a quarter mile from here.
In the dirt. 1-2 now to Gonzalez. Well, they would wait, I would think. What's the rule on that? Sometimes half hour, maybe an hour before they can.
I think they have to wait pretty close to an hour.
Two is off the outside edge. 2-2. Strike three over the outside corner. Gonzalez strikes out for the first out of the 7th inning. First strikeout for Thompson.
That was Laz Diaz's call of saying, you know what, it's starting to rain, it's getting cold, let's get out of here.
Mark Trumbo is taking over in right field, moving from right to first base. One out in the 7th. This is into left. Ortiz going the other way. Abreu will gather it, but Ortiz on for the 3rd time today. Walk and now 2 singles. And Marista's coming in to play here at second base right now. Howie Kendrick moving to first base from his spot at second. It is absolutely pouring right now. Catcher also into the game. Bobby Wilson now behind the plate. 3rd catcher here for the Angels. We'll see for the first time in the series. This is coming down. As John Hirschbeck, crew chief, is the man who needs to make a decision as he looks around. 1 out, 1 on for Jed Lowry. 1-2. There's strike one. The thing about it is there's blue skies to our left and to our right. I wonder if this is just not passing and they will try to play through. Unless the forecast, of course, which they have, says otherwise. 0-1. I'm not a meteorologist.
Even though you stayed on a Holiday Inn Select last
0-2 the count to Jed Lowry. They are poised and ready should they be called upon. In the dirt, and it's 1-2. Lowry grounded into a double play in the 2nd inning. He doubled in the 5th, 1 for 2. will do it again. Thompson came into the game in the 6th inning, and he got the final out of the inning, getting Euclid to fly out to center. So he starts the 7th inning. Joel Pinheiro, pitcher of record for the Angels today, threw 98 pitches in 5 2/3. And 3 hits, no runs. He walked 4 and struck out 2. And induced 3 ground ball double plays. Now he grounds this foul. Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you in part by Eastern Bank. At Eastern Bank, we believe something as simple as your checking account shouldn't come with a lot of strings attached. Eastern free checking. See just how good a checking account can feel. 1-2 to Jed Lowry. 2-2. Ortiz at first, 1 down in the 7th inning. On the ground, foul outside of first. Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming up for Jed Lowry. Running here through the raindrops. Fouled off, will do it again. Most have ducked underneath for a cover at this point here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's been raining since the inning began. Strike 3 call. Thompson finally wins the battle. His 2nd strikeout of the inning and of the outing as he gets Lowry over the outside corner. Joe Lowry injuring his wrist, it appeared, in the 5th inning, rolling it. Same injury that he had last year. And this time he rolls it, glove comes off. Wincing in pain, of course, staying in the game and making a nice catch after that and hitting a double after that. And striking out here in his bat in the 7th inning for the 2nd out. As J.D. Drew takes a pitch outside. He grounded out in the 3rd, walked in the 5th inning. Up high, ball 2. Missed 3-0. Rich Hill is up. And Scott Atchison equaling his high from last year of 3 innings of relief. The 5th, 6th, and 7th innings. Here's a 3-0 to Drew. Taken all the way. There's ball 4. 2nd time that Drew has walked today. First walk given up by Thompson, and Red Sox have 2 on. For every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings where the Red Sox get a save, CVS Pharmacy will donate $500 to Children's Hospital Boston. CVS Pharmacy is the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox. 2 outs and 2 on here in the 7th inning, and Jared Saltalamacchia coming up. He grounded out in the 3rd inning and bounced into a 4-6-3 double play in the 5th.
With all due appreciation that this is an 11-0 game, this is a good situation for Saltalamacchia. He goes constantly in a basically, he's growing as the season goes along. He's got a low ball, hard-throwing low ball pitcher. He's much better from the left side. He hits the low fastball very well. It's just a good opportunity for him to get game action and try to keep building the confidence that seems to have changed. I don't know how you've noticed it, but I just feel he's felt far better about himself in the last week or so.
Seems like since Veritek catching a little bit more, it took some of the pressure off him, it appeared, in some instances. You know, I found it interesting when we were out in LA, the comments that Mike Scioscia made about how long it takes for a catcher really to mature, maybe longer than any other position. And he certainly has that kind of knowledge and background to make that statement.
Well, a lot of times you see catchers really start to emerge when they're 26, 27, 28 years old. Saltalamacchia is still 25 and has gone through, you know, he's had some issues that have slowed down his progress, but
0-2 the count. Saltalamacchia 2-on, 2 down. And it's a fly ball into shallow left center. Out is Ibar. Borges coming in. And the center fielder puts it away. Red Sox strand a pair. We played 7, and it's 11-0 Angels.
Final with TC, Jim, and Heidi. Get the final word from Fenway and a preview of tomorrow's season opener with the Twins as the Sox continue their 11-game homestand. Plus, all the highlights from around the majors is coming up right after the game and only here on this.
Nicely done. We head to the top half of the 8th inning, 11-0. Angels on top.
I'll be doing the traffic somewhere later tonight.
Well, more Scott Atchison in the game here for the Red Sox into his 4th inning of relief. He didn't get it out in this inning. It will surpass his longest outing of last year. 3 innings, which he did 3 times. Alberto Callaspo takes strike 1. His highest pitch count of last year was 52. He's already surpassed that. As Callaspo gets out of the way of a pitch inside. Well, it is raining here at Fenway Park, but the good news is off to the left is blue skies. I think it could be okay here in a few minutes. Francisco Rodriguez is up in the pen. This one fouled off. That doesn't look so bad. Over there. We need that over here. Just move it over. The 1-2 is down and in.
Did you get your start as a weatherman?
No. I made pizzas my first job.
Oh, I thought you were about to start talking about barometric pressure.
No, I will not go there. This is on the ground right side. Scudero slides to his right. And he throws out Callaspo. The first out of the 8th inning.
Many years ago, the Red Sox had an announcer named Don Hussey, and his nickname was Weatherman Don Hussey because he used to talk about the weather almost all during the games.
I rarely bring it up unless it's bad. You know, I mean, if it affects us, then we got to talk about it. I talked a little bit about it last night. This one is
well, yes.
There you go. Now that is a weather machine. What it does, I have no idea. What it means, I have no idea. But it looks good, and it's something weather. And this one's bigger, much more definitive.
Oh, I thought maybe that was one of those things you saw in Vineyard Sound where they tried to generate energy.
2 down in the 8th inning. Well, the Red Sox season is well underway, and the best place on the radio to follow your favorite team is on the WEI Sports Radio Network. Every weekday morning, wake up with Dennis and Callahan for some Sox talk and a whole lot more. That's weekdays at 6 a.m. on the WEI Sports Radio Network and right here on Nesson. So 2 down in the 8th, and Mark Trumbo had a long 2-run home run in the 5th inning into the monster seats. Swinging a foul. So I'm on to something here, Peter. Look at those blue skies. They're making their way over. I said it was going to happen, and here it is.
You're the next Willard Scott.
The 0-1 bounces in, 1-1. John Lackey today, 4+ innings, 10 hits, 8 runs, all earned. He walked 3 and struck out a batter. Scott Atchison has been in ever since. When Lackey is on the hook, came in 2 and 3 with a 5.65 earned run average and 8 runs allowed today. This is what Atchison did a very good job of last year. Coming in and getting people out, working quickly and
throwing strikes. And even in Pawtucket, 17 strikeouts, 1 walk. I mean, there's something to be said for that when you need to eat some innings up in the middle, get some length out of that bullpen.
Made a spot start last year for Daisuke Matsuzaka. And a guy who just, at one point, then became a reliable reliever as the year went on. A guy that Terry Francona had confidence in some tight spots late in games as a result of the work he had done in the other roles.
That was an amazing afternoon. All of a sudden, there's Scott Atchison starting and Daniel Nava hitting a grand slam.
There's a walk for Trumbo with 2 down in the 8th. And it is just the first walk given up by Atchison, and it's going to be the last batter that he faces. Here comes Terry Francona. Pitching change from Fenway. Rich Hill will be coming in. It's 11-0 Angels. Howie Kendrick back in the fourth inning, part of this attack for the Angels. They scored 3 times in the fourth, and Kendrick with an RBI single as part of that fourth inning. Mark Trumbo would add to it as he hits a long 2-run home run for runs 7 and 8 on the day, while John Lackey be the last batter that Lackey would face. Red Sox kind of dodging a bullet as Jed Lowry goes diving after this and rolls the wrist, the one that he had injured last year. And he stayed in the game and later hit a double and make a good defensive play, apparently okay, as this game rolls along with 2 outs in the 8th inning, and Mark Trumbo at first after Scott Atchison goes 3 2/3 innings. Rich Hill comes into the game. His numbers with Pawtucket starting the season with the Paw Sox in 10 games, 1-0 at a 1.13 ERA, 143 opponent batting average. He's 31 years of age, and of course a native of Milton, Massachusetts. Did not allow a run over 6 games with the Red Sox last year, following his September 13th call-up, and added to the Major League roster last year in September. Alexei Marista batting here.
I think it's interesting where he's gone with his delivery. I mean, he used to be over the top of the Cubs. He had some trouble with his command. Always had a great swing and miss curveball, but he couldn't get ahead with his fastball. When he reinvented himself last year with John Farrell and became sort of Javi Lopez Redux, it was interesting, but then he felt at the end of spring training that he was better off getting a little further up, and he could see, I think his arm speed's better. He told me he was adding a little bit of a Louis Tion turn to get some deception with the hitters. But he could end up a very important guy on this pitching staff coming to the end of the season.
This one fouled off, 2-1.
And he does have to throw strikes to Alexei Amarista, who I'm sure is first time he was in the clubhouse was collecting tips. His teammates probably thought he was a clubhouse kid.
Well, the experience for Rich Hill in the majors started with the Chicago Cubs in 2005. Parts of 4 years with the Cubs. We saw him briefly in 2009 with the Orioles. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
There you saw the little twist. Got him a little bit off balance, and he throws him the bat breaking ball. He always had a great curveball. I can remember seeing him pitch on Cape Cod when he was at the University of Michigan. And great breaking ball.
Swing and a miss. He strikes him out, and a good one there. We head for the bottom of the 8th, 11-0 Angels. The Red Sox Foundation, helping to address health needs in our communities. We head to the last half of the 8th inning, 11-0. Angels on top of the Red Sox, and pitching change for the Angels. Their third pitcher of the day, Joel Pinheiro, the pitcher of record, went 5 2/3, no runs. Rich Thompson, an inning and a third, no runs, and now Francisco Rodriguez in for his 9th game of the year, no record, a 6.52 ERA. And he walks, strikeouts, and opponents hitting at 250 against him. And Marco Scutaro Jacoby Ellsbury and Darnell McDonald will be expected here in the 8th. That is some kind of lid on Cinco de Mayo. Scudero leading it off. He's walked and grounded out. It's been a long 24 hours here at Fenway Park. And we want to send our thanks along to our great technical crew, all of our cameramen who have been outside much of the night and here into the morning today and getting ready for this day game. A very quick turnaround for everybody, and it is much appreciated. The best in the business, no doubt. One is sent down the left field line. A foul ball. Just foul. Wally Bell on the call, third base umpire.
Well, as someone that watches every game, I can attest to how good the Nesson crew is. It really is remarkable. I mean, when I go back, I thought Sunday was one of the best shots I've seen on television the entire week, which was when Carl Crawford got his hit. The way he was mobbed at first base, and they captured every sense of his face, the expression, his teammates' emotion. That was really good work. And to say, I think of all the, somebody mentioned it to me the other day from MLB Network that, oh wow, what a tremendous job they did capturing the moment.
This is into center field, a base hit for Marco Scudero. Red Sox start off the bottom of the 8th with a single for Scudero, and just their 5th hit of the day.
They haven't had those dramatic moments today.
There have not been many. That pitch was up. Scudero going up to get it, up and in. With the barrel of the bat on it. His first base hit, second time he's been on. And it's back up top for Jacoby Ellsbury. Grounded out in the first, lined out to right in the 3rd, walked in the 6th inning. 13-game hitting streak possibly on the line here. His last at bat of the day. As he takes ball 1. Took into the 9th inning to extend it in last night's game. And the shadows now have encompassed the home plate area. He's trying to make their way out to the mound. Fouled off, 1-1. Two and 1 to Ellsbury. He's grounded out second, lined out to right, and walked today.
Funny thing about hitting streaks, because Ellsbury crushed that ball to right field.
Ended up being right in the direction of Vernon Wells. And he sends one foul off to left, out of play. Lots of sunshine now. Hasn't been with us a lot of the day. On the ground right side and into right field, a base hit. Scudero takes second base, and Ellsbury extends the hitting streak to 14 games. Numbers formed during the 14-gamer. He's down to get this. 2-1, nobody out in the 8th inning as Scudero took second base on the single by Ellsbury. And here's Darnell McDonald batting for the first time today. Took over defensively an inning ago for Carl Crawford in left field. Crawford had been 1 for 3, one of the 6 Red Sox hits on the day. As McDonald takes a pitch outside. Outfield straight away on Darnell McDonald with 2 on and nobody out. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Darnell McDonald, one of the great stories of last year, a chance to play on a regular basis, made good. But this year's had a hard time getting any playing time.
He's made himself a better player. I mean, he hasn't hit thus far, but he worked so hard in the offseason to get himself into better shape in terms of his speed and agility so he could play center, right, and left, because he really hadn't played center field for a few years. And he worked very hard to be able to play all three outfield positions. In time, it should pay off.
Tap foul, do it again, 1-2.
You know, we always try to just hang around Darnell. You'll come up with some phenomenal thing that you never would have thought of. I mean, you know, Butch Davis trying to get him to quit baseball to go run back kicks for the Cleveland Browns. I never knew until this week you got to hit off Roy Halladay in the Colorado high school baseball tournament.
Swing and a miss, and McDonald strikes out. It's the first out of the 8th inning. 2-1 down, and Kevin Youkilis coming up. Rodriguez, who gave up back-to-back base hits to start the 8th, and now deals with Youkilis, who has an 0-for-3 day so far. He's grounded out, struck out, and flied out. On the corner for strike one. Pitcher of record for the Angels today, Joel Pinheiro. Likely pick up his first victory of the year. Came in 0-0 and his second start after beginning of the year in the DL, and didn't give up a run in 5 2/3. This is out to right field and hit deep. Trumbo going back onto the track to make the catch in front of the wall. Didn't really realize where he was. He had more room to roam, but thought he might be right at the wall. He kind of tentatively leaped up and made the grab out there in right field, and there's 2 down in the inning.
That's a tough play with the sun right in his eyes. And I don't believe he's familiar with playing right field.
He thought he was right at the wall. Of course, watching it take place, and Trumbo makes the catch.
The last 24 hours, each had a little frustration.
2 down here in the 8th, 2 on, and Adrian Gonzalez, who was 0-for-3. He's grounded out twice and struck out. In the air to left field. Abreu started back, now comes in and makes the catch that ends the inning. A promising start to the inning with the Red Sox strand 2. We head for the 9th, 11-0 Angels. TC, Jim, and Heidi get a breakdown of John Lackey's outing, including his take on today's performance. Plus, we'll have the manager's perspective in the From the Press Room segment. It's all coming up right after the game on WB Mason's Extra Innings Live. Sombreros are getting smaller and smaller as the day is going on in the Cinco de Mayo at Fenway Park.
I will admit I'm getting a little hungry thinking about. And I was.
Burgess lifts it out to left field. Back goes McDonald at the scoreboard to make the catch. Darnell with a nice grab out there and bangs into the scoreboard. Burgess gives it a ride, but a nice play by Darnell McDonald. We're talking about him last inning, and you wonder, a guy who's a first-round draft choice generally gets more chances than most, and it just didn't happen for Darnell for some reason until last year.
No, what's amazing is he stuck with it. I mean, when he was in high school in Colorado, he was #1 high school running back in the country. Texas is, we went to Texas. Ricky Williams was his host. He was supposed to be the next great University of Texas running back. He was the #1 rated high school baseball player in the country. The Orioles drafted him and signed him and spent all the summer. This has been to 1997, and he never quit. He had the chance to go run back kicks for the Cleveland Browns without playing college football. Didn't do it. He loves the game. He's, a friend of mine who ran a pro scouting department they're always looking for extra outfielders come July. They'd always find his brother playing somewhere in Mexico. It's a nice story. It really is.
0-2 is lined into left field towards Darnell McDonald, who plays it on a hop, as Eric Ibar is aboard with his 4th hit of the day. And his second 4-hit performance of the season. I'm sorry, he had 2 last year, his first of this year, and on first with 1 out in the 9th.
In less than 24 hours, Eric Ibar has put on a show here with those 2 great throws last night. This morning, whatever it was, in the 4 hits.
Swing and a miss, and the count is 0-2.
There's that changeup that Terry Francona was talking about, which he needs against right-handed hitters. He had Kendrick's head flying on that pitch.
Swing and a miss. It'll strike out Kendrick. His second out of the 9th. Second time Kendrick has struck out in the game. Got him in and he can't get it.
Went to his curveball there. Got him dropped on his back foot. I think that little turn that he was telling me about, I think it's really helped with that deception, just as we saw with how deceptive Jared Weaver is. We even saw Felix Hernandez trying the Louis Tiant move. Probably a pretty good thing.
2 down here in the 9th inning. We'll work for Julian Tavares on occasion here for the Red Sox also. Did it every now and again. Bobby Abreu here is 2 hits and 3 RBIs in the game. Hit a double in the 7th inning to drive in 2. After he had singled to drive in a run in the 4th inning. And there for strike 1, 1-1. And Conger's come out on deck for the Angels. He caught in last night's game. One. There's a ducking out of the way, and it's down and in. Headed for cover was Abreu. Didn't see it. Abreu grounds it right side, ranging his Scudero. He'll flip to first for the out. That ends the inning. We head for the bottom of the 9th. It's 11-0 Angels. brought to you by Southwest Airlines and by Dunkin' Donuts. And we head for the last half of the ninth inning back at Fenway Park. Francisco Rodriguez back on the mound for the Angels. It is 11-0. Angels on top. David Ortiz to lead it off in the ninth. And he takes ball one. Some really nasty clouds are off to the left now. And they're headed in our direction.
Are those occluded clouds?
Yes. The 1-0 to left field and in for a base hit. David Ortiz has been on base 4 times, his 3rd hit of the day. All singles to left, going in that direction every time. Taking what they give him and going that way.
That's actually a very good sign. I mean, that's what, when he got out of sync for a while, it was last year and the year before, it was because he kept trying to chase fastballs up and in, which he never hit anyway. He's gone back to being the David Ortiz that he always was. Lay off that ball up and in, drive the ball away, and a couple of times when he's gotten the ball down on him, he's pulled it. So down and in.
He's got 3 of the 7 hits the Red Sox have in the game today. He's also walked, so aboard 4 times. There's a 1-0 to Jed Lowry. On the ground towards second, could be 2. The second for 1, on to first, it is 2. And that's the 4th double play of the day, turned by the Angels. So 2 down now in the ninth. J.D. Drew coming up. Drew has grounded out and walked twice as he bats here in the ninth with 2 down. He takes ball 1 inside. Is outside 3-1. To J.D. Drew from Rodriguez. Drew to center field. Borges coming in will make the catch that ends the game as the Angels win last night and they're able to blank the Red Sox 11-0. And Peter, just seemed today that John Lackey just did not have it against his old team.
No, he didn't. He left balls out over the plate. His breaking ball was a little bit flat. They got behind quickly. It was 3-0, 6-0. It just seemed to, on the day when there wasn't a lot of energy to start with, it deflated them even further. I think this is a day that can be summed up if you want the silver linings. David Ortiz, Rich Hill.
Well, the Red Sox today lose 11-0. The Angels bang out 18 hits. I want to tell you what's going on tomorrow here on NESN. It starts at 5:30, Friday Night Fenway on NESN, as we get ready for the Flyers and Bruins Game 4 with the pregame show from 6 to 7 o'clock. And then the Red Sox game will be on NESN Plus with the Flyers and Bruins. And the Bruins trying to sweep the Flyers. And that coverage will start at 7 o'clock right here on NESN. So we look forward to that tomorrow night. 11-0, the Angels down the Red Sox. For Peter Gammons and Heidi Watney, I'm Don Orsillo saying good afternoon from Fenway Park. Join us again tomorrow night as the Sox open up a 4-gamer with the Twins. Live coverage from Yawkey Way begins with Friday Night Fenway at 5:30. Then a presentation of NESN, New England's most watched sports network. Time now for a preview of what's coming up on WB Mason's Extra Innings Live. Here's Tom Caron.